Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to answer a very interesting question regarding the Second Amendment that I received from a viewer. They asked me, hey, since the Second Amendment says that a well-regulated militia is necessary, what is the role of the government in maintaining that well-regulated militia? Well, to answer this question, first you have to look at the actual language. And you have to relate that language to what it meant at the time it was written. Now, when the Second Amendment was written, well-regulated was a very common term. It was common vernacular. It was something you used to mean something worked. It was functional. If you had a well-regulated printing press or a well-regulated wheat thresher, that means you had maintained it and it works. That's all it means, is it works. So someone has done whatever it took to make it to where that thing actually functions. That's what well-regulated means. So basically what the Second Amendment says is, since a functional militia is necessary, ... actually semicolon, ... So that's what it means. Just means it has to work. And what is the role of government in making sure that militia works? Well, nothing. It's not their job. The militia is supposed to stand separate from the government, because it is an individual right. They wrote that in the Bill of Rights. That is something that each person has to enjoy this right. They have to be entitled to this right for the militia to actually function. You can't have a functional militia if the people don't have the tools. So since the people need to have a militia, we have to have a militia, well then they have to have the tools. That's all the Second Amendment says, basically. The government can't stop them from having the tools. So the government's role is nil here. The federal government can play no role in the militia. It shouldn't play any role in the militia. They can determine sometimes in some states what the militia actually means, like who's eligible for the state militia. But other than that, they shouldn't have any say in who does what, who has what, and any individual person should have access to any item that law enforcement or any individual soldier has access to. So when you look at it like that, it's very easy to see the government should have no role. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's for the federal government, though. State governments can take more of a role in it. And some states do. Some states actually go as far as to define what the militia is, what age groups are eligible, etc. But still, those state governments are still bound by the Constitution. They don't get to do their own thing. That doesn't say the federal government shall not infringe on your rights to own guns. It says your right to own guns shall not be infringed upon. That includes state governments. You know, the right to privacy and due process isn't just from the federal government. State governments have to obey those too, those other items in the Bill of Rights. So they have no right to infringe or in any way regulate the militia. The militia is the people. Now, if states wanted to play an active role in it, I think there are ways that states could play an active role in maintaining their militias inside their states to where they are functional. And that is, if a state wanted to offer, you know, like there's certain areas in the state, at least one big area where you can go to at any time and receive training. You know, you just show up, there's a range, there's someone there that can show you the basics, someone can help you out with stuff, you know, and it's state funded. That's great. That's a resource for the people that they can either choose to use or not use. And it would help maintain the militia. Another thing government could do that I wouldn't throw a fit about is they could make guns tax deductible. If you're arming yourselves, if you're buying ammunition, it's tax deductible. That would help maintain the militia. If anytime you wanted to write things off on your taxes that you purchased, you could. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, I worry about that then they have a list of people who own things. Well, they already know who owns what anyway. It's not like you buy something from an FFL and they don't know. Now, if you're buying all your stuff privately, well, then don't write them off. I mean, that's up to you. That's your choice. But the option should be there for people who choose to do it. You know, I would think that would be a great way that the government could help maintain a militia, help make sure that the people themselves do what it takes to maintain a militia. and be available if a militia is ever needed for any reason or one or another reason. You know what I'm saying there. So that's another way. Tax incentives, I think it'd be great. Also, they could have places where, not everyone can afford to buy stuff. So they should maybe have depots where if you're of a certain age, you can go in there and you can say, hey, I need to train this weekend with my rifle or whatever. I need 2 boxes of, 223 or whatever. So that you can actually maintain your skills. And that can be provided by, the government. I'm okay with that. That would be one thing my tax dollars could go to that I wouldn't mind. If everybody had, a place they could go and they could actually train and there was stuff provided, like that state training area I said, maybe there's ammo available there. You don't even have to bring your own ammo. It's available so you can train. And maybe every month they give you a certain amount to keep at your home, so that you're ready to go if things go bad. What if the electrical grid went down tomorrow and everything went to shit? We would need militias to go out and maintain order, etc. There's not enough police, and they're going to be busy protecting all the rich people. They're not going to be helping out downtown, in the poor areas. So, and the military, if there's no electricity, how effective are they going to be? So we got to think about things like that and when a militia could come into use, especially in times of natural disaster, when natural disasters are getting more and more common. It's very expensive to roll the National Guard or the Army or all these organizations out every time there's a natural disaster. If we had militias, it'd be a lot easier to send out the call to volunteers to go throw sandbags together or go help rescue people, etc. And that happens a lot anyway. A lot of the rescue efforts end up being individuals, so that's a perfect job for the militia. So really, there's no role of the government whatsoever in maintaining the militia other than making sure that everyone has the rights that they require to be involved in the militia. Now, should everyone have to be in the militia? I don't know. That's a different subject. That's kind of like talking about the draft. But in most states, it's people of a certain age, and well-bodied, etc. There's different terminology. And if you're that, you're automatically eligible for the militia. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a part of it. Some states it does. Some states it says the militia consists of every single individual of able body and mind between these ages. And if you're that person, you're part of the militia. But like I said, if the government wanted to play any role in a militia, it should have no governing role whatsoever. That is up to the people. But if they want to provide places to train, they want to provide materials, they want to provide tax incentives to keep people, not only trained, but, capable, they have the materials. If they want to do those things, that's fine. My tax dollars get used for a lot worse things every day. So I probably would be okay with that. But like I said, other than that, other than just being encouraging to the people that need to maintain the militia and need to be part of the militia, the government should have absolutely no say in what the militia is, what the militia does, or who can be in it, or what they can have.